feel like Jason will probably have something to say to weigh in on this. We were just talking about how like our relationship with the internet has changed so much in the, I don't know, past 2 or 3 years, but also that the internet kind of sucks more than it used to at the same time. And it's like both things. Like we don't want to post as much anymore, but like also like the sites are all, they're all shitty now. Like,
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I think maybe as we get older or busier, we just find, posting a little more tedious to do. And it's not as important, I guess. Before it's like, oh, I got to be the first one to make that joke. I got to be the funniest or whatever. Now it's like, whatever, man. I don't even care. Like, you just wait for someone else to come with a joke. Like, there it is. Been waiting for that.
Yeah, I was just telling Phil a second ago, anytime I think about something funny these days, I just think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to post it. Maybe I'll tell my girlfriend something, but I'm just like, that'd be funny just to post. And then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes like when I do post, it's like stuff I thought of like a week or a month ago, and I finally post it. And you guys have been witness to that. I make a comment in the chat, and it's like 2 or 3 weeks later, I'll make it a status, and it's like, test audience.
Yep. No, yeah, for real.
No, if it gets reacts in the group chat that it was probably was something was going on.
Probably a banger. Yeah.
A good thought,
Yeah.
But I appreciate John that's just saying, like you can just have funny thoughts and like you can just leave it at that. You don't have to post. Like
you don't have
everyone
to,
knows.
You don't have to say anything.
You don't have to post, everyone. Okay. I'm kind of a fan of that because I just have become so disenfranchised with everything in the past. Like I can't even be in like meme communities or whatever anymore. Like everything that's happening, I'm just like, I can't get on your level with that. Like I just really don't care about that. I'm glad you have the mental bandwidth to do that.
Yeah.
Well, we're back. We're reunited for. It's the Comics Misexplained crew. I mean, we haven't met since February. I had to go back and check so I could try to figure out how long it has been. It's been like, so what September's 9, so that's 7 months.
I can't believe that Morbius is back in theaters again.
I've already seen it.
Morbius streak. Yeah, it's going.
I actually
$4 billion.
No, what was the one we were joking about that needs to go back in theaters like Morbius? I've already forgotten what it was.
Blue Beetle. It was like, it just came out in theater. I'm like, put it back in theater.
We also have Craven to look forward to. Which
my God.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I guess
I'm
that
looking forward to
postponed.
when he says it's Craven time, like
he's hungry.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Taco Bell kind of like joint thing where it's Craven time and chalupa. Yeah.
Fourth meal.
That checks out. Yeah. I don't know about the Sonyverse, man. Like, but speaking of Blue Beetle, I mean, did y'all see it? I hadn't seen it yet. I think it might already be on HBO Max or whatever it's called now, Max.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. I want to. Me and my girlfriend really want to see it. We just haven't gotten around to it.
I really want to see it too. It honestly, to me, looks good. I know it kind of bombed in the theaters. I don't know if bomb is an appropriate word. It didn't do good enough, maybe. Is that the right way to put it?
Yeah, I think another big part of it was like, Flash was a huge bomber, and then I think DC was like, well, that's what we're betting on, so let's pull all marketing off of everything, including Blue Beetle. So like no marketing, minimal marketing for Blue Beetle. Yeah. So that didn't help. But I mean, I saw it in theater. I went to go, I'm Hispanic, and it's like I know it sounds stupid supporting like people of your ethnicity in theaters or whatever. Some people find that important. I usually don't find that important, but it's like when do I ever see like a Hispanic hero in the superhero thing? I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. Yeah. I might also get my card taken away from me. I can't use my Spanish slurs.
Right. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Right. No, I felt the same. I saw the trailer, and my girlfriend and I watched the trailer. I'm like, well, we got to go see that. Like, we have this fucking Hispanic Latino guy, like brown superhero. I don't even like DC, but here we are. We're like excited to watch it. We still haven't gotten to it yet. I've heard it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It is. It's what you would expect it to be, man. It's your average cookie cutter thing, you know. Yeah. It's fine. It's like as good as Morbius, maybe, you know, like.
Wow, that's a glowing review right there. I mean, that's speaking of which, The Flash, that is, I started to watch it. I turned it on because it's on Max now, and I got like halfway through it, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed now because
it's pretty rough, man.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a strange movie. Like I don't like watching Ezra Miller. Like their shtick is that they're annoying, but I'm like, yeah. You're annoying. Like
cool shtick, yeah.
It's a little too like self-aware. It's not actually enjoyable. Like,
and then they double down on that, and they're like, "Hey, here's like my doppelganger who's even more annoying." You're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know that was possible." Yeah, it's
just starting to realize that the character's a he. I can say that, right? Barry is he's realizing he's annoying, but now let's give him another one that's not annoying, that doesn't know he's annoying. Sorry, that was it was hard for me to get on board. I really wanted to because of the Michael Keaton vibe, but even when that part started, I was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think even this is going to save it for me. Like,
wow.
Have y'all seen it? Or I don't want to okay.
I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen it through. No, it's all right. We can talk about it because I've only seen it through leaked scenes on Twitter while it came out. I watched all the wildest scenes, and my coworker, he's a huge Flash fan, and he went and watched it and was extremely disappointed and told me all about it. So I feel like I've seen it. It's pretty bad. So
I think everything that was, you know, spoiler worthy has been spoiled. Like it was put out there on the, like we've all seen the terrible, and I gotta say, the CGI is so fucking bad in that movie. Like, what were they thinking?
So, you know, the day it came out or the second day it was out, people were complaining about the CGI, and the director came out and said it's supposed to be like that. What a fucking excuse. What a fuck. Yeah. It's supposed to look like that. Yeah, it's bad. Oh, yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
So here's the thing that caught me off guard is that when I, so spoiler alert for the listeners, if you don't know, there's this big thing where all the multiverses or whatever, and you get all these cameos, right? And that was the scene that was leaked, and I think most people have probably seen that at this point. And I was thinking, oh yeah, the CGI does look pretty shitty in that, but I was thinking like this is like they're pull out all the stops, like they're going all the way in on this scene. So I kind of get it. They did the best they could. They ran out of money or whatever, but no, they actually have a plot device called what is it? The Chronosphere or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
And he goes back to the Chronosphere continuously during the movie, and every time they do, he's surrounded by events from his life that are all shitty CGI. Like over and
it's
over.
Like the Polar Express version of that thing that just happened in the past. It's like, why don't you use the real footage? You could have did like a little square of like, or just cut them out and have the scene that you shot. You could have that there circulating in that sphere, but it's like they chose to animate that scene in Polar Express animation. Like, who the hell approved that? Like, that's you're like spends more money to do that. I feel like for no reason. It's just horrible.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Like and it's funny because it's such a plot device thing to be like, okay, well now we're gonna go back to this thing. You know, this is time travel. It's like there's 1,000 ways to do time travel. It's been done so many times in so many movies. We don't. Yeah, I love the Polar Express metaphor. I feel like that needs to be I'm glad you bring that up because last night, so my daughter is obsessed with Frozen right now, and we watch every type of Frozen media that exists. Everything, we've watched the movie 1,000,000 times, both of them, and the shorts. And so last night, my wife was looking. We were just desperate for something. We turned on a thing that was the making of Frozen 2, and we were actually into it. It was like this is pretty cool. Because it's geared for an adult to watch. It's not for a kid. And my daughter wasn't into it, but it got to this part where they're showing how they screen the movie to other directors and other, industry people to get feedback. And it was showing how cut and dry some of it is. Like some of it's literally just a drawing, and it's like what am I trying to say? God damn it. I can't think of the word. Anyway, it's just the drawings to show the scenes. And then some of them were like very rudimentary 3D renderings, like it had the characters, but you could tell there's like no lighting, no shading, like
they're like rough draft original idea versions.
And it just reminded me of that when you were like describing.
Oh, like that was our first step. It wasn't done.
Like,
it's like,
oh, okay, like,
yeah,
they didn't get to they didn't get to go all the way with this, like they didn't have enough support or funding or time or whatever. They're just like, that's as good as it's gonna get.
They dumped so much money into this movie. It's like the reshoots, and then I think another reshoot, and I think another reshoot maybe, and then I think they dumped like an extra like 120 million or something ridiculous like into it.
Good Lord.
I have no proof of that. I just know they spent a lot more than they should have.
They were really hyping up that movie. I mean, it was supposed to be like the best DC movie ever.
It was,
Didn't Tom Cruise say that? Like Tom Cruise said that, and James Gunn said that, and it's just wow. Like they started like paying people to say it.
Yeah.
That was their Hail Mary. I mean, they were about to lose everything on that DCU, but I don't know. I think they need to go lick their wounds, let James Gunn come back and try to do what he does. I mean, he's done all right. It could be, they could come back. They could save it. I feel like the state of comic book, sci-fi, whatever fantasy stuff is pretty down bad lately. But I will say, I mean, it's kind of a shining light in all of this has been the Ahsoka show. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I really want to let y'all weigh in because I haven't watched Clone Wars or Rebels.
Yeah, me either. Yeah,
I can just tell from the media, just from the memes and from the stuff I see online, how much Ahsoka resonates with those shows. Like I see all these screenshots of the characters side by side, and it seems like they're really doing it justice. I mean,
yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I think I have cried every episode. Just like it's just I was such a huge fan of Rebels, such a huge fan of Clone Wars. Thrawn, Ezra, and Ahsoka are my favorite Star Wars characters. So
wow,
just seeing them all together in live action was pretty insane. Yeah, it's nuts that they're doing this too because not a lot of people have seen these shows.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, where's the importance of Ezra to people who've never seen Rebels? That's kind of what I've been thinking about.
I'll say as somebody who hasn't seen it, I don't get it yet. The most recent episode, I was kind of like, this is important, but I don't, I can't really feel the importance from all where it came from. But like, I can tell just the way it's shot and the way it's, it's a big deal. You can tell in the moment when it's happening. But I'll just leave it at this. I would love to hear more. I'm going to actually ask you several questions about all this because I'd love to know more. And I just simply don't have time to go back and watch Clone Wars and Rebels and all the shit that I would like to. But so for me, there was something that stood out, which is that I'm losing my train of thought already. So the reason I really feel like I'm enjoying Ahsoka, even vicariously from people that have the experience with the source content, is it reminds me of the early days of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it was like, it was so cool to see those things you knew happening on the screen, right? It was so cool. Like the fruition of it with like Endgame and stuff was like, wow, even though they like took all these liberties and did it their own way, I was like, holy shit, you're seeing this thing that you really cared about from some others source and they were doing it justice. And I feel like that's why Ahsoka is really standing out right now, is that it's taking material that people really did care about, that like was important, that did a good job of storytelling, and like it resonated, and now they're doing it in a bigger way where people are going, I never thought I would see this like in live action with fucking Hayden Christensen as Anakin, as like this shit is crazy to me. And I feel that yeah. So sorry it took me so long to get to that point, but I'm just curious, like, how did you, were you just such a big Star Wars fan that as soon as Clone Wars came out, you were just like, yeah, I'm going to watch that? Or was there some way you found your way to that material before?
So when Clone Wars first came out, it came out as like a really bad movie. Like, it was like an hour and a half chop up of 4 or 5 episodes that George Lucas wanted to push out as a movie. I went and saw that movie the day it came out, and it was really bad. And I never watched Clone Wars again. And then I watched the Clone Wars micro series, which is incredible. It's a whole different series. It's a little bit darker. It's a by the guy who did Samurai Jack, so it's in that style. It's on Disney Plus. It's really good.
Tartakovsky, is that?
Yeah. It's literally called Star Wars Clone Wars or something, but it's only like an hour and a half total. It's pretty good. But it wasn't until, like maybe 5 years ago, I got back into Clone Wars, started watching Rebels, and I kind of just, I don't know, I got swept away. Like, those were pretty good shows, and just seeing Star Wars the way I've always wanted to see Star Wars, and it's more of like, there's a bigger plot going on, but also there's like several arcs where nothing's happening. It's just kind of like little story of the week. Like, here's what the characters are doing, here's what side characters are doing. And so, like, that's kind of what was cool about animated. I feel like animated Star Wars is more of ideal Star Wars. You can kind of get a lot more from it, a lot more storytelling from it. And seeing it in live action, I mean, it's insane. Like, seeing Thrawn and Ahsoka it's weird. Like, you can't really compare them from animated. I mean, I'm sure you've seen pictures of Thrawn from animated. They look nothing alike, but it's just
the animation has like a exaggerated. Everything is bigger facial features, and I mean, of course, it's not going to be the same. And when you look at what's the Green General's name? I can't think of her. I mean, when you look at her character in the show versus the like a human playing it, it's like, well, no, that's just never gonna. You're not gonna be able to do that, like. And like Thrawn, is it just me, or did I get like Elon Musk vibes from that?
Yeah. I've seen people say that. I don't really see those vibes, but I can see people say that. I'm really trying to detach from how he looks in live action. In my mind, it's just a representation. All I can hear is his voice. His voice is spot on. It sounds like the voice from Rebels and from the audiobooks. And his demeanor and like mannerisms are spot on. His look is a little kind of weird. I mean, he's a blue human. So
yeah, it seems like a high bar to like pull that off. I mean, a lot of these characters are like Ahsoka is hard to pull off. The General is difficult. I mean,
yeah, Hera looks kind of weird. Her eyes really. It took me. It's taken me 7 episodes so far to really get used to seeing her eyes, and it's so.
I think I might have just made the sacrifice to the character to just let her have her natural eye color, because it really does take you out. It's like you can't look at her and not go, yeah, she's wearing color contacts. Like, it's not convincing at all.
You'll probably think the same of Ezra once you start seeing more of him, because he has blue eyes in the animated show, and in the most recent episode, if you pause on him, he has blue eyes.
The contacts,
it's pretty distracting. I was kind of thinking they would have changed that for live action, but they're trying to stay true. It's weird. I don't know. I feel like with him and Hera, just brown eyes. I don't know, a neutral color.
Let them be, I don't know. You said it. So let me ask you this. I think that the thing that I'm trying to figure out is like a timeline of all this stuff. Like, obviously, I watched the prequels, and the animated stuff comes somewhere in between a lot of the prequels and after.
Yes, the timeline is a mess. I mean, every new Star Wars thing that comes out happens to be here or here in the timeline. It's never really consecutive. But Clone Wars takes place between episode 2 and 3.
Right. Okay.
And then Rebels takes place before A New Hope. So it's kind of like later. Ezra is the same age as Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's kind of like a baseline that I think about every time. He's the same age as Luke and Leia. And a lot of the show Rebels takes place between his age of like maybe, I don't know, 13 and 19 or so. I don't know. He ages kind of significantly, but it all takes place in New Hope, and he's the same age as Luke. And that kind of brings things together, but it's still a lot going on.
So then that begs the question, like, what is happening on Ahsoka? It is before the original movies, but we're seeing Anakin, but he's like, what is Anakin in this show? Like,
so Ahsoka, I think everything we've seen from Ahsoka so far in what is present day, I guess, is after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think
no,
it's
I know that
all.
makes way more sense now.
Yeah, it's all after Return of the Jedi because it's like the New Republic is, real fucking arrogant and acting like the Empire's not around, but they are. So it's definitely I don't know, maybe not. I know it's 9 years after the end of Rebels. I don't know how long it is after Return of the Jedi.
Okay, thank you. I probably could have put that together if I thought about it more without just like trying to talk about it in the moment. But so then is this a satisfying continuation of like, because Ahsoka and all those characters in Clone Wars and Rebels are not in any movies. Like, has
Right.
this felt like a satisfying continuation of their story, or does it just feel like?
I think it's pretty satisfying. The show shouldn't have been called Ahsoka. The show should be
Oh,
called Rebel Season 5. I mean, that's kind of what it
oh,
is. It's more that than anything. It's Rebel Season 5 with a focus on Ahsoka.
okay. Why do you think they would choose Ahsoka? Like, is there any reason she's like a stand? I guess she's like
I
a
don't
Jedi.
know. I mean, she has become one of the most popular characters in
Okay.
Star
Why
Wars.
is that though? I mean, just because of her appearance is
I
so.
think it's because of her. I mean, she's pretty cool. I mean,
Probably just
and
because she
she's
trained
had
with Anakin, right?
yeah, I mean, she's
Didn't
Anakin's
Anakin
fucking
trained her?
Padawan, yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
so
probably
like she
why.
has a lot of training with him, and she's had probably more screen time than any character you can think of. I think she's had more screen time than Luke, definitely. I mean, with Clone
Wow.
Wars, so it's like she has a lot of screen time, and you've been able to watch her from 13 to however old she is in Ahsoka. So it's kind of like you get to see this whole thing. And so it's like she's just popular. I don't know why they call the show Ahsoka, probably just to get a mainstream audience, but I can really feel the mainstream audience being alienated by
So
Hera, Chopper, Sabine, Thrawn, like all like it doesn't
it's
really
almost like
click.
a weird connective tissue for the Skywalker saga to be like, oh, well, this
Right.
was trained by Anakin, so it
Yeah.
carries, and she knows Luke, or does she? I guess Grogu knows
Ahsoka?
Luke, but Ahsoka, does she know Luke?
Yeah, she shows up in Mandalorian. Her and Luke are
Okay,
hanging out for some
yeah, it's
reason. We
been a
don't know.
while. I forgot all the. So, is it?
Yeah, she was at his training camp, I think, right?
Yeah. See, the timeline's a mess. That's the thing
Mhm.
is, it's so big, and they keep putting shows randomly,
Yeah,
I
and
can't
you have to
imagine the
like,
person that's
yeah, like
got the
Boba Fett and
whiteboard of timeline shit that they have to keep up
yeah.
with. That sounds
mhm,
I wish
painful.
I had it
a lot
on
of
me, but
jumping
my
around.
girlfriend and I actually have a timeline we made, and it's hanging up next to the TV. And literally, when we're watching anything Star Wars and we feel like we're confused, we pause and we reference the timeline.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Like, okay, where are we? Okay, and so
Don't make
we're
me
actually
point
in
at
the
the
process of
timeline.
updating it, but it is extremely confusing. Like, absolutely, and it's
I mean,
pretty.
those new shows are like taking place everywhere. Like there's like the one in the very beginning, like pre Jedi, right?
You mean shows that are
It's
to come?
Yeah,
yeah. Like there's a new movie coming out that's like Dawn of the Jedi or something, and then another movie is supposed to come out that's supposedly, I think, probably going to kick off Ahsoka. I'm assuming. I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or if it's going to be a movie, but
I do know. I feel like all the like the Mandalorian, the Ahsoka, the all that is leading to a movie. Like Dave Filoni has
yeah,
kind of like teased the fact there's a big crossover or something coming.
yeah, they've confirmed that he's working on a movie, but there's a writer's strike going on, so who knows?
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky that anything we're seeing now it just was made way before shit hit the fan. So who knows? Who knows what any of this will look like in the next. I don't
I
know.
don't
I mean,
know.
people act like,
Yeah.
oh, it'll be done in January. Nobody knows when the fuck it'll be
Yeah.
done.
I think
When are you gonna
like
pay?
Loki is probably going to be the last thing that comes out. Until then, we're waiting for the writer's strike to be over. I can't think
That's a
of
good
other
point.
stuff that I'm interested in.
Oh, I think What If
Yeah.
is also scheduled to come
oh
out,
yeah,
Okay.
that's
and
right.
the
Yeah.
Marvels is also going to
Marvels.
come
Oh
out.
yeah, the Marvels. Yeah.
So I mean, the great transition there. We should talk about these shows. I mean, I don't know if there's been any. Has there been any big MCU stuff since the last time we talked? I think it was like the Black Panther movie had come out last time we talked. I'm trying to remember if there's any shows or anything. Oh,
What is?
we talked about the Scroll show?
Oh yeah, Secret
Invasion. I mean,
oh god,
we all disliked it. I feel like, but we haven't talked about it really.
That was funny.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was a weird show.
Yeah, there's not a lot to say just because it was such a disappointment. It was just like you felt like all these great actors are involved, and like, and it was pulling on such a like big event in comic books, but it was just such a letdown if you think of it that way. It's just like what, like Rhodey was really the only big. I guess it was what's his name, Martin so and so, and Rhodey.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, okay, I was like hoping it would be like Iron Man or something was a Skrull the whole time. I mean, like
anyone consequential at. I mean, that show felt such like Disney execs or Marvel execs said, "Hey, we got to make this show." That's kind of all it felt like. Like, make the show and put it out. It doesn't matter what it's about, and that's what we got.
I agree with you. I feel like it was like somebody with a good intention had said we should make this show, and then that's what happened because of execs. They were like, "Oh no, this is as far as we're willing to take this." Like,
it was expensive to make too. I think it was like what, 200 million or something like that. And people were like, where'd the money go? Like, what?
Literally, yeah. I mean,
I think someone said Ahsoka was cheaper than I was like, what? Like, wow, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but yeah.
I mean, I could believe that. I feel like Star Wars has their own in-house thing going on, and Marvel kind of relies on slave labor. It seems like.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated with the Skrulls in that show because there were so many just like plot devices to be like, yeah, we don't have to look like Skrulls for all these portions of the show, and so that also surprised me they spent that much money on it when they're like, yeah, but you have to stay in human form, like can't change, like because the budget requires that, but also because it's part of your training or whatever. It's just like,
yeah, it made no sense. They're literally in their safe space, all hanging out with each other. But they're all human. They're all proud about being Skrulls. We're proud about being Skrulls, but we're all going to be human in privacy because the budget doesn't allow it. So
I think the director like didn't even read like the comic book series, like like something like that.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
that hurts. That hurts. Yeah. Well, what do y'all? What is your expectations for Loki? I mean, it starts in like two weeks, I think.
Yeah, 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think 2. However many episodes of Ahsoka are left.
There's 2 Ahsoka left.
Okay.
And it starts the same week as the Ahsoka finale, you said, John. So that means we got 2 weeks, 2 Ahsokas, and then Loki takes over. I mean, Loki was a really high point in the MCU Disney shows,
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed most of them. I mean, WandaVision was cool. Loki was really, I don't know, it got me really excited because wasn't that like the next show after WandaVision was Loki? And it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was,
I think so,
second show for sure.
And then like you had the Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier was not great, and then the Miss Marvel show was like really fun, but it was like kind of all over the place.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, I'm pretty disappointed with Moon Knight.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I'm the only one that liked Moon Knight. I don't know.
I mean, I liked it when it was happening, when I was seeing that. It's like that experience of being like, wow, you're seeing this stuff on the screen, like, wow, this is amazing. But like, I just thought this Moon Knight suit was so hokey, man. It was just like a Power Rangers villain looking like the hood, like with the widow's peak on it that like was stiff and like, I don't know, man. Wow. It's just that comic book series is so gritty, and then it just did not feel that way on screen. Like it was.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I came from. I never got into Moon Knight comics specifically, so I was able to enjoy the show.
Dude, the weakest like plot device in that was like when he would super soldier out, but it'd be like Mr. Bean like fumbling around everywhere, and then he like passes out and he wakes up and like there's just bodies everywhere and just continues to Mr. Bean throughout the show. I was like, dude, come on, like give me the cool personalities. Why'd you give me this character? Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. I feel like the well, I guess I'd have already stated this, that things are kind of in disrepair, that maybe it's good, like, honestly, that there's a writer's strike and an actor's strike, because like all this shit needs a hard reset. Like the streaming, it's like we've been like spoiled by these streaming services, just like endlessly being like, we're just gonna keep pumping out content. We're never gonna stop, and we're gonna get robots to do it. We're gonna use everything you made, and they're gonna make more. And it's just like literally what they want to do.
Stop.
Like I get on Netflix now. Like we've kind of run out of stuff we want to watch lately, and so we started just going through Netflix because it worked. We went on Max and realized, just looking through everything that's on there, like, oh, we never finished his Dark Materials. Like we started that like years ago, and there was 2 seasons we never watched. And I was like, cool. So I kind of did the same thing with Netflix the other day, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on Netflix, man? Like, there is so much shit on that service, and so much of it,
and it's all original programming too, and it's like, dude. If it has the N on it, I don't want to watch it. Like, can I just have a filter where you just take that out? You know,
I don't want Netflix originals anymore. It's over.
Yeah, they're getting right. Yeah, I think I've heard Netflix is starting to become kind of the spot for indie stuff. Like, it's kind of going. It's just this big circle where now Netflix is, because they can't afford anything else. They can only do originals. So if you have a project, if you have an indie project you want to do, Netflix will likely sign it. And so it's just like, that's probably the only the only good direction that Netflix is taking, not on purpose, is that eventually maybe we'll get something cool and original. But in the meantime, you just got to pay for shit.
I just feel like that whole company became so bloated. Like it was like, you know, like there was a time where it was just like Netflix was never going to stop, right? Like they just like kept greenlighting shit forever. And then like now they're just like, there was so many things, just their whole animation department was just like gutted and like, I mean, now when I go look at it and I'm just like, what are these fucking shows? Like, I don't even understand who are these for?
I think they were trying to get into gaming too. So they had like a gaming mode or something that's coming as well.
Gaming mode.
Yeah,
they're
rise up. They're trying to like just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It sucks because it's just floods with tons of shit, man. There's just so much shit on there. I don't want to see it.
I mean, there's no future for streaming companies. There's no profit in it.
I think we need a Thanos snap of like all the streaming content. Well, the executives that already are trying to do that, like they just pull shit just so they don't have to pay royalties anymore. But like, I did enjoy it for a while. There was probably like a good 10-year run where it was like pretty nice. Like there was a lot of good shit that came out of it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess this is a major tangent just to say like, what do you expect out of Loki? You know, like, is this going to be the last hurrah? You know, because without the strike being wrapped up, who knows what would come next? I mean, nothing really.
And Jonathan Majors, we know for sure he's in this season. So it's like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
At the end of this, you know, are they going to keep him or not?
Yeah, it's a good question. Who sent the video? Like, tell me about the video with Jonathan Majors, like breaking up a fight or something in a newsboy cap, or right?
Yeah, yeah. I posted that in the chat. It just happened to be on my timeline. Like, I was like, oh my god, what is this? I have to watch this. And then the memes started coming, and it's like, if you know, you know. And the emojis of him splitting apart little kids with a little hat, the hat he was wearing. Oh man.
But y'all were saying funny. Like it was so staged. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the video. I just saw like screenshots of it. But
it's exactly like that sketch that was posted in the chat is too from I forget what sketch that was with Fred Armand, right? Oh man.
But I mean, do you think it was like a PR stunt to try to make him look better or something? Or
probably.
I'm assuming so. I mean, with the actor strike, they can't recast him. So
right.
All they can do is make him look good. I mean, they have a show coming out where he's the main villain, so let's have him break up a fight, I guess. I don't know.
With teenage kids.
Yeah. I'm excited for Loki. I really am. It's going to be good. I am disappointed that that's what's going to be the villain, and it's just going to be him. And
I got a question for you. Will we see Miss Minutes' feet?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to see Miss Minutes' feet in this one, you think?
Have we not already? I feel like I've paused it a lot. I think
doesn't she have shoes on normally? Let's check out.
I don't know. What is Miss Mincy? Yeah, I forget what Miss
Hold up,
Mincy
let
looks
me
like.
check real quick. I have a lot of screenshots.
I gotta go to Wiki see her. Yeah, she has shoes on. So
yeah.
to see her feet would be a specific occasion.
I think she'll be on the back of Morbius while riding the Sea-Doo when he finally gets his jet ski.
So yeah,
Mobius.
Yeah,
thank you for
Mobius,
bringing that up.
and she'll be right on the back holding on to him, and her feet are just be dangling
without shoes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Because they're on the water. They're in the waters.
Yeah.
Miss Minutes bathing suit section.
Personally, that the narrative arc requires like 3 seasons for Mobius to get his jet ski. I don't feel like it'll happen this season, and now I feel like it may not ever happen because
I think he'll get his jet ski at the end of this. I think he will.
At this
I
season,
agree.
Yeah. So
I think we will.
Be a 2-season thing. Like it's so weird.
That's it.
Just have a 2-season
run.
I
think that's it. I think this is
it.
it.
I don't think they have 3 seasons planned.
Yeah, I think this is it. Like,
it's so weird to me that they would do another season and then that's it.
Oh, right. Unless because you figure this is leading up to, of course, Kang Dynasty or whatever Avengers movies in the future. But what if like they just said, well, it does technically, but season 3 is going to continue on his adventures. Like he just becomes like fucking Doctor Who or something. Loki is the new Doctor Who.
That's cool.
Like that, you can keep it going forever. You can keep the show technically going forever.
Yeah.
You can Doctor Who it, man.
Going forever, but I mean, I just
every Loki season will be like a hint and lead up to another Marvel movie or something. That's like how you connect it all. It's like, oh, you're in the time period of this and this.
Yeah, the TVA could go on forever. I mean, it's so weird when I say the TVA because I always think of the Tennessee Valley Authority. I don't remember what it's called, but like growing up in Tennessee, if you go to East Tennessee, there's like a power company. They have like nuclear power on the river. It's called the TVA. So when I see that on the show, I'm like, TVA, okay, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, you could definitely keep that going. I guess it's just like testament to Loki, John. What is his name? Hiddleston. That Tom Hiddleston, still wants to play the character. I was going to call him Jonathan Hiddleston, Tom Hiddleston. Like there's very few actors from the MCU that are willing to stick around at this point. I feel like we saw Samuel L. Jackson's last hurrah. Like, I mean, obviously he has the Marvel movie coming up, but like I don't expect to see much of him after that. Like, I feel like it's finally over for him. And like, Thor. They say they're going to do another Thor movie, but Chris Hemsworth has said he doesn't really want to act anymore. He's got like ALS or something kind of similar. He's got some kind of nervous system disease that he's saying, I don't want to act. I want to spend time with my family. And it's just like all the people that made that phase of it are kind of like, it's over. Like I did it. I served my time. Like my tour is over. I'm coming home, everyone. Like,
like 10 years. I mean, yeah. I get it.
And I could see in 10 years from now that a lot of those people might come back because that would be such a deal that they would come do like one movie again,
Well, I mean, I guess 10 years from now is Secret Wars.
I think so.
I mean, that's probably happening 10 years from now.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially at this rate. Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably see everybody come back. Like,
I mean, we say 10 years now, but it's like, dude, what if they just like start pulling the cord? You're like, yeah, that's it. In the next 5 years, this is happening. Like all these movies. I guess him getting desperate and being like, okay, we're out, done.
Yeah,
it's so it is desperate, and it's aggravating because there's no reason for it. It's like Marvel could do so much better shit by just like it doesn't have to all connect. Just like start over.
I agree. I feel like every franchise could be condensed to an adventure of the week. And it would be more successful than anything we're getting now. Like, you don't need a connected canon. Just kind of do 20 episodes of they're doing this time, and it's not connected to the last episode, and it won't be connected to the next episode. Just like old TV. I mean, it would be
I mean, I don't want to call it
a
crutch because it's not. It's definitely not a crutch. It's like that's not how it serves the story, but like it is an overused like marketing device to say that all this shit is connected. It's like I don't know. I hope that like what DC's doing and they're kind of like carving out the way to say there's like Elseworlds and there's like, hey, we can just make movies about fucking characters that are good. They don't have to be all in the same universe or some shit. Like I like that. It's been fun, but if you're using that constantly to sell the audience, I mean, It's like it feels like they're trying to like they're just trying to lightning in the bottle, like as an industry standard, and it's just like it just doesn't work that way. You just can't like do the best shit every single time.
Right.
If you try to do it once a week, like, and I hear you, John, because like that's what I used to enjoy about stuff like the Next Generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's like it had kind of a long storytelling thing going on, but there was several episodes that would just be like, oh yeah, this weird fucking alien took over the ship, and like, no, there wasn't any like Wesley didn't grow up any, or nobody got married this week or whatever. But those things did.
They just did a aerobics exercise to a mirror. Yeah. Five episodes in a row.
Leotard you've ever seen that like go around the breasts and then up and give you a camel toe.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Guys will see a scene like that and say, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did y'all see? I don't know if y'all watching the Star Trek stuff, but I saw the like Lower Decks reference that exact scene with Beverly Crusher and Deanna Troi, where they had. I mean, I have to imagine what the actresses felt like in those fucking shows where they're like, "This is what you're gonna wear for your workout scene," and you're like, "Excuse me."
No.
I am? No. I like. What do you do in that situation? You're just like, "Yep, that's my job.
That's it." Yeah.
Gonna
start bending over, stretching out. You're just like, oh my god, really? You're gonna make them do that? Okay.
So wrong.
That's some good nighttime primetime TV. Yeah.
Well, I guess we haven't really talked about Loki at all. We've just been lamenting.
I mean,
so we know there's a major McDonald's. Are we
getting Szechuan sauce again? Are the kids going to be rising up, Rick and Morty fans, and be jumping on the counters?
Yeah, I mean,
and, I feel like give me the sauce.
It can't be. There's no way it can't be exploited. But I mean, if you have like a McDonald's restaurant in a scene of a show, like obviously, surely McDonald's has like some kind of marketing deal for that whenever it finally comes out. Like,
man, I wish they would have went to like Vaporwave Taco Bell instead. Like that'd been way better.
Maybe they do. You don't know. Maybe yeah. Mobius goes there. All right. So if you had to take a guess, or if you had a wish list of Lokis you'd like to see this season, we had some good ones. We had President Loki, had Crocodile Loki, we had Young Loki. We had so many. We had Old Loki, the comic book original. Obviously, they got to give us more of that. They have to. Like, they would be stupid as hell to not satisfy some more of our variant needs. I want to hear, what are your guesses? What are you putting money on for Loki's this season?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think about it in like Lokiverse terms, like how we saw multiple Spider-Man. So now I'm thinking, I don't know what kind of Lokis. I need a second to think about it, because we could probably see some pretty weird Lokis. I'm assuming we've already seen maybe the weirdest.
Maybe it's like other Sylvies this time. Maybe it's maybe it's not just Tom Hiddleston's alts. It's weird that as the actor, he is the like model for so many of the variants, unless they're an animal or a woman or a child or something. Like, why is he like the alpha Loki? I don't understand.
That's true. Okay. He's Tom Hiddleston, I guess.
I'm
hoping that we see like a Groot Loki. That'd be good.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe something strange like a Potato Loki.
I really need to shift my mind back into Marvel, because
we got to get really weird
Loki.
With
it.
Yeah. Captain P Loki. I want to see this one scene. I want to see this one scene that was like, I think this one series is called like Infinity something. It was more recent, in the past like 5 or 10 years. I forget what the hell it was, but there's a scene in there where like Loki goes to some other like universe or something like that. I think he might have had like the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that. And he goes and he finds like just a whole entire cave just full of like Infinity Stones from all these other universes, like all these other like probably I think Lokis that have tried the same thing he's attempted. They're different versions of him. So there's always Infinity Stones that are useless, and unless they're from their own universe. But that was like a fun scene. So I would like to see full gauntlet Loki, and he ends up in a cave full of infinity gems everywhere.
Can't do anything.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay.
I mean, because they did kind of tease that, or they played with that idea when the TVA, you open.
Is he like the worst Loki, or yeah? I don't know. That's fun.
I like the Gauntlet Loki. That's a good one. Yeah, that's all I got.
I mean, I guess we could see a Captain American Loki. I mean, I don't know the weirdest. Maybe an Iron Man. I mean, what routes are they going to take? They're really going into the multiverse. I'm assuming even harder than the first season. So it's definitely going to be more Sylvies. Now that you've said,
yeah,
I'm kind of assuming it's probably going to be more Sylvies. But I don't know, maybe more animals. I mean, that was the funniest.
An otter Loki, and that'd be good.
An otter.
We saw the frog
Loki.
Thor.
Yeah,
frog.
That's
Thor.
right. A Lego one.
I think we'll probably see like a Sylvie cat. I could see that probably. That seems pretty. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, you've heard it here first. When you see it in the show, we knew.
We're gonna see weird Lokis and weird Sylvies. That's for sure.
I just want to see Loki with foreskin finally.
Yeah, finally.
Please. Like, he has been circumcised in every universe.
Yeah.
Finally, can we just see one Loki that
is not circumcised?
Foreskin?
Yeah. Good call.
I mean, how do you even circumcise a god? That seems hard.
You can't do it to Wolverine.
Crazy, scalpel made by what's his name? Can't remember anybody's name tonight. The blacksmith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of, did y'all see that the Toxic Avengers getting rebooted?
Elijah Wood.
Oh, what?
He's like a villain.
He's looking at like Danny DeVito, Penguin.
No way.
He looks nasty.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good.
Let me see if I can find. So it's Peter Dinklage that I was trying to think of his name. He is the Toxic Avenger. Elijah Wood is the villain. I just saw screenshots today. He looks gnarly. Yeah, he looks disgusting. And good for him. He's I don't see many roles for Elijah Wood like that. Like
I think my favorite role of his was the one in Sin City where he played like that cannibal. And he was like really fast.
That. It's been a long time since I've seen Sin City. Cool. That's a cool movie. That's a Frank Miller adaptation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good one. All in black and white.
Part 2 is terrible, though. Don't see part 2.
Fair enough. Well, there was a few other things on the show notes that I added from this week that are not related to movies or anything. Well, sort of, kind of. I mean, Beetlejuice has been in the news because apparently here in Colorado, where I'm at in Denver, our state representative Bobert was escorted out of a musical performance of Beetlejuice, which I'm so upset. I'm so upset. We had this on the show notes from last week because it had just happened, and there was not like enough. It was just like, oh, she was escorted out for vaping. But like it kept getting more and more worse. Like it was like she was vaping and there was like a pregnant woman behind her asking her, please stop vaping. So that's kind of like, okay. But then the much funnier shit is that that her and her date were like groping each other and giving them hand jobs to each other and shit, like in this theater. Like,
who up juice and they Beetle?
Yeah.
She Beetlejuice my Beetlejuice to my Beetlejuice. I stole that from somebody's post. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are.
Juice and the Beetle. Yeah.
Juice and the Beetle.
Yeah, I love this story. It just kept getting funnier all week. Like, it's one thing. It's like,
is that what Blue Beetle's about? Sorry, I didn't see Blue Beetle. No, sorry.
That was somebody else's post I saw.
Oh, really?
Megan Marks was like, I thought she was trying to say, oh, I thought my boyfriend was going to have me watch Beetlejuice, but now we're watching Blue Beetle, and like she was upset. Fair enough. I honestly, I love Beetlejuice. I would never go see Beetlejuice the musical. Fuck off. Why is Beetlejuice a musical?
Everything is.
No. I'm not on board. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people apparently are supporting her for this move. That they're saying like, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with her politics, but if you're not vaping and giving a hand job at Beetlejuice, like, why? What's going on? Like, this is wasted. This is a wasted opportunity here. Like,
I agree with the sentiment. I don't think she deserves that.
No, I hate her guts. I think she's an awful person.
Yeah,
I like the one screenshot going around of like one of her old tweets. It said, "I'm a Christian, so they may try to drive me to my knees, but that's where I'm the strongest." I'm like, hell yeah.
The Succ. Yeah, it's a strong position. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that we didn't talk about it last week because all the jokes have been made. It's kind of like the thing at this point where it's just you can just think the thing and it's funny, and we'll just leave it at that. Like
exactly. Yeah, think about
something. Something else though. Speaking of politicians, that came across my radar this morning. I don't know if y'all saw this. But Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter was hacked like this morning.
I didn't see that.
Bad. It was bad. Let me. I can't read all of them because some of them are just too. But yeah, it was very surprising to me when I was reading them. Like at first, he says that I shouldn't say first. I don't know the chronological order, but he says that his dad's died and that he's running for president in 2024. These are all the hacked tweets. I think he calls Joe Biden the N-word at one point.
Wow.
Stand by. I've got him here.
Wow.
Time has gone by. Here we go.
Does he say, "Who up juicing they Beetle"?
He unfortunately did not say that.
That's too bad. I would have voted for him.
Yeah, it's something about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. How do you hack Donald Trump Jr.?
So they're not deleted yet? The tweets are still up?
Oh, they're deleted now. Okay. People, of course, screenshotted them. Wow. But yeah, this was yesterday morning. Sorry, time slips away from me. But yeah, I mean,
how do we know he was hacked and it wasn't just him going off the rails?
Right. Thank you.
That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Is he kind of drunk and was just tweeting, and now they're saying he got hacked?
He did the purest cocaine line and just was like, "Fuck it, I'm going online."
Right. Yeah, I'm going. I can respect
online. That. Dad's gonna be so proud. Yeah. He would tweet just like this if he was allowed to be on Twitter.
I can respect that.
I mean, I guess he is allowed to be on Twitter, but he just doesn't tweet except for his mugshot. For some reason, he finally came out of silence and tweeted his mugshot. That was weird.
No surrender.
Yep. I think he made shirts of it. I think he was selling shirts of his mugshot.
Oh yeah.
It was a picture of his mugshot and it said "No surrender," which.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hustling. Always stay hustling. I mean, he probably made a significant amount of money off that. So.
Yeah.
I really can't hate on that personally. If I was arrested and I could make a bunch of money off my mugshot,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Damn. Shit.
Still hate that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that one dude from Florida would do anything cool like that.
What dude? DeSantis?
Yeah, DeSantis. Yeah.
Fuck, I hate DeSantis.
He's not cool.
He would. Yeah, he's not cool. He would never do that.
He would wish to do something cool like that, but he would not. He can't. Yeah, he doesn't have the poster energy that apparently is in decline. The poster energy is not what it used to be. So
yeah,
it's a deficit. Rare.
Yeah.
Pretty rare. It's a deficit.
Yeah.
A posting deficit.
Yeah, we got to buy more GameStop. Buy more GameStop. I'm telling you.
In this economy, I don't think so. I'm not.
Yeah.
You got to post, or you could just think it.
Yeah.
That was a good thought.
I'm not gonna.
Oh man. Well, on that note, I've run out of show notes, so we've hit all of our story beats. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, John and Jason, for being here for a reunion. We'll have to get Lucas back in the mix.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And maybe
I didn't expect us to talk about comic stuff at all. As this happened.
Really?
I'm cool with that. Yeah, whatever.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Later, y'all.